Hey y'all, welcome to the second episode of Psychology for Yogis with Livia, because yogis need shrinks too. Today's question or interest comes from several people wanting to know about this phrase or term, spiritual bypass. Seems to be a pretty hot topic in yoga circles. So, spiritual bypass was coined by John Wellwood, and basically it came out of some observations that he had in his spiritual community. And he observed that there was a way in which people jumped to this overarching sense of spirit and spirituality, bypassing or skirting around or avoiding many of the realities of living life, whether it was a logistical reality like picking up, you know, errands, doing errands, things like that, or emotional realities like really feeling into the actual experience of a situation. So this term has become sort of popularized nowadays as the New Age world, the yoga world, all these spiritual practices have emerged. And spiritual bypass is one of the great perils of leading a spiritual life. Now, of course, not all yoga practitioners are interested in having a deep spiritual practice. A lot of people do yoga for the workout, for the exercise. And there are a great many people who do it for that and for other aspects, for what we might say spiritual aspects. And so it is the great peril, if you will. So basically, this idea is that we might prematurely forgive or prematurely jump to compassion or prematurely avoid a great many aspects of our own emotional life. And it could even look like avoiding the realities of like paying bills, picking up kids on time, things like that, where there's so much invested in the spiritual emergence that one is experiencing that the rest of the world kind of goes away. So if we were living in caves and didn't have kids and didn't have responsibilities and didn't have grad schools and didn't have partners and whatever, then, maybe if it was just us and spirit, then there would be no thing such as spiritual bypassing. But the fact of the matter is that we are real beings in real time, in real space, in real life, of this plane, of this reality. And we have responsibilities to ourselves, to others, to be accountable. And so a lot of times it just gets difficult to touch into our genuine anger, our genuine fear, our genuine sadness, and speak the truth, feel the truth, and then speak the truth. Two very difficult things to do. So giving it all up to spirit, having it be this divine will, or having it be just karma, or having it be just lila, or having it be anything explained other than your accountability and responsibility, and that of others as well, skirts around the issue. And so it can often look like a holier than thou kind of righteousness in some way. It can also look like an avoidance. It can also look like everything's cool, or it's okay. Like this denial, it can look like a denial as well. So my invitation to you this week is to consider this term. Consider the ways in which perhaps you act out this term. Maybe you've been really angered, and rather than expressing your anger, or let me say, first notice, identify, feel your anger, and express it in a healthy way, you jump to this, I'm going to have compassion for this person. I'm going to forgive this person for what they did, or something like that. We have a real sense of like, where there seems to be a real expectation of forgiving really quickly in a lot of communities that I see, or not allowing ourselves to be really angry that there's this immediate desire for warmth and compassion and to be together, and or even to have like upeksha if things aren't working out and there's just this massive distance and there's this way in which you separate yourself out from the reality of life. So what are the ways in which perhaps you've acted this out? Maybe it was today, maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was 2 years ago. And what are the ways in which you might have seen others do this as well? You don't have to point a finger at anyone else and be like, you're spiritual bypassing. You don't have to point a finger at yourself and be like, bad yogi, spiritual bypassing, bad. You don't have to do that. Spiritual bypass has a really indebted virtue in that it is protecting us, protecting our ego strength, protecting our sense of selfhood and uprightness in the world from things that we literally cannot tolerate. So when we have had enough and we can't take in anymore, and our systems literally can't take anymore, we look for ways to defend ourselves unconsciously. We look for ways to avoid or resolve something that is intolerable. It's a way to make the intolerable tolerable. So spiritual bypassing is just a defense mechanism that allows us to make what is intolerable tolerable by making a premature jump to some kind of idea, practice, thought process, feeling that we think is more spiritual. So you don't have to make yourself bad for it if you're doing it, or anyone else. It's okay. Can you pause, reflect, and perhaps really welcome some of the true feelings that are happening? And slowly, we go through that process. So, hope that helps. Hope that's interesting. If you want your question or interest addressed here, then write to me. It's lgsyoga@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And that's it for now. Take good care. Bye.